Welcome back to the MMA Fight Realm. It is your boy Chris, and on today's video, we're going to be talking about the best bets for UFC Vegas 86 this weekend. So, first best bets video of this channel, and I have been posting my bets on the community tabs for every card I have covered, as well as on my Instagram. You guys got to follow the Instagram at MMA Fight Realm. I got fight news, I got betting odds, UFC content, and I cover the weigh-ins. So especially if a guy missed weight, it's going to impact what we do with these bets. So definitely want to bring that up. Follow the Instagram. Tune in, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of this video. All right, let's get into it. So lock of the week for this weekend. I have been consistent on lock of the week. Haven't failed on lock of the week since I made this channel. So taking pride on that one for sure. Joe Body Bags Pfeiffer is lock of the week for this weekend. Minus 258, I think, is a great parlay piece. I think even straight bet is a great solid bet for Joe Pfeiffer, in my opinion. I mean, the guy, if you heard him on Joe Rogan's podcast, we got to really get to know him, and we got to know why he has that grit mentality. He has that you're not going to take the food off my plate mentality. And that's what you want to see from a fighter who is looking to show that, he belongs in those rankings, in those higher rankings. And he's a contender. He's a contender in the middleweight. I truly believe it. And he is not a guy you want to go up against when you're coming off a year layoff. And that is the case for Jack Hermansson. Jack Hermansson did not fight all of 2023. Now, that, impacts how I see his chances winning this fight, because I really think he should have had, a tune-up fight. And to some, this might seem like a tune-up fight because Joe Pfeiffer is not ranked yet in middleweight. But Joe Pfeiffer is a guy who does not want to see the judges. As you've seen in his fights, this guy has KO power. He knows how to get it done on the ground with submission finishes. I mean, he's just a threat all around. And Jack Hermansson's strength is grappling, which Joe Pfeiffer has been training with the best, one of the best grapplers at 170, which is Sean Brady. They are training partners. Joe Pfeiffer has got all the tools for a guy like Jack Hermansson. I do believe he's going to get it done. Joe Pfeiffer this weekend is the lock of the week. Now, let's get into the props, because I do think there's a great prop for my lock of the week, Joe Pfeiffer, which is him to win by KO or by submission. You could take the double chance on DraftKings, which is my sports book, at minus 175 right now. And I think minus 175 for Pfeiffer to win by KO or by submission, which is pretty much him not seeing the judges, is a great parlay piece. It's a great straight bet. And, minus 258 is the money line. So you might not like the money line. Minus 175 on this prop is great. It's a lot much better than that minus 258. So Pfeiffer by KO or by submission. There's that first one. Next is Dan 50K Ige by KO at plus 250. Dan 50K Ige. He is 50K Ige for a reason. This guy has heavy hands for the featherweight weight class. And this is another case where I truly believe another guy is trying to make a name off Dan Ige, and he's going to show that he does belong in the rankings. He is always and always will be a threat in featherweight. And, just because he took that loss against Bryce Mitchell, which was a very close fight, you guys got to go and rewatch that one. You can make the case that he even won that. But the grappling, and the control time of Bryce Mitchell does play a big role in that decision. So I just think Dan Ige, if that's the opponent they share, Bryce Mitchell, Danny Gay put up a way tougher fight. And, I don't want to do MMA math, but Dan Ige is a lot more proven. Dan Ige has the heavier hands, and Andre Fili taking this one on short notice as well. And just, I don't believe that he can get this one done on the feet or grappling because Dan Ige is very well rounded. So I'm just not seeing many ways for Fili to get this one done on short notice. He's going to have a puncher's chance in this one. And if Dan Ige shows his striking defense, which is very good in his regard too, I see him winning this one by knockout. So Dan Ige by KO plus 250. Great odds for that one. And then Carlos Prates, the newcomer. He is the newcomer, guys. So some of you already know I'm not going to bet on him. But he's in my prospects to cash on in 2024 video. And if you heard me in the picks video, this guy, over 100K K1 Muay Thai fights. This fight is probably going to play outstanding. Prates by KO minus 110. I think that's a great prop piece for a guy who is probably going to finish Trevin Giles this weekend. Trevin Giles has been KO'd real badly before, and Prates is a guy who can do it to him. I do believe it, and I've spoken highly of him already. Check the picks video out. Check the prospects to cash on video out if you want more details. Prates by KO minus 110. All right, guys. Those are the props. 3 props for you guys. Now, dog of the week. Dog of the week for this weekend is Armen Petrosyan at plus 105. Plus 105 for Armen Petrosyan. I think that's a great odds for a parlay piece or even a straight money line bet. This guy went to Dagestan before this training camp. He humbled himself. He knew where he needed to work on before this fight because he's taking on a grappling expert, Rodolfo Vieira, who, jiu-jitsu, black belt, probably like triple black belt in jiu-jitsu or something like that. But this guy, Rodolfo Vieira is gonna test him in the grappling, and Armen Petrosyan did the right things, went to Dagestan. He knows exactly what to do in terms of, being able to say, you know what, I'm taking on a guy who is gonna want to wrestle. He's gonna want to grapple. So I gotta go to Russia, learn from the best, and that's what Armen Petrosyan did for this training camp. He's a kickboxer, so he's gonna have the striking advantage. I think this fight was also rescheduled. So the fight being rescheduled gave him even some more time to prepare in the grappling. I like Armen Petrosyan's chances to get it done by finish here. Rodolfo Vieira's cardio is also very questionable. I don't know if he shaped that up yet. He hasn't shown me that he shaped that up yet in his fights. So I'm going to rock with Armen Petrosyan. He's shown 3 rounds. He's shown that he's making the right moves in training. Armen Petrosyan plus 105. That's dog of the week, guys. Now let's get into the parlays. So I got a parlay with guys who have been under the bright lights, and I got a parlay with the up-and-comers, the guys who are making their debuts. So some of you guys don't believe in the guys making their debuts, and I understand. They have cooked you before. They've cooked me before, and they might cook me this weekend. But I'm rocking with them, man. I'm still a believer. So the first parlay, though, is with guys, like I said, they have been under the bright lights. This one is Joe Pyfer and Gregory Rodriguez, RoboCop, and then Daniel Marcos for plus 171. Joe Pyfer, lock of the week. So I mentioned how he's going to win already. And in the picks video for more details, check it out. RoboCop. He's got a favorable matchup here against Brad Tavares. I am, definitely interested in this fight. RoboCop is looking for vengeance, I think, because he was matched up with Bruno Ferreira. Bruno Ferreira took this one on short notice because he actually was supposed to fight Brad Tavares on that week. So Brad Tavares pulled out, took Bruno Ferreira. Bruno Ferreira actually knocks out RoboCop in that fight. So, like I said, I think RoboCop is looking for vengeance. He finally got the matchup that was supposed to happen that time, and he's looking to rewrite that loss. So, RoboCop, I do see him also getting it done. He has striking, definitely the heavier hands in this fight. He has the more finishing ability in this fight. Brad Tavares, you know, if you heard me in the picks video, he went up against Chris Weidman in his past fight, and the fight went to decision. You don't go to decision with a guy like Chris Weidman at this point in his career. In my opinion, is Chris Weidman is should retire, just injured. Great fighter, but he's too his durability is just not there at this point. And Brad Tavares took him 3 rounds to win by decision. You don't go to the scorecards with Chris Weidman at this point in his career. So I don't believe in Brad Tavares' chances against a guy who's very aggressive like Gregory Rodriguez. And then Daniel Marcos. Daniel Marcos has a favorable matchup here. Looks up, hits you down. Looks down, hits you up. Very tricky with his striking. And Arichi Lang has only been getting it done with guys who are getting cut in the UFC. So I do believe that when he faces UFC caliber, which is a guy like Daniel Marcos, already 2 wins in the UFC, he does not shine. And Daniel Marcos is going to get it done here. So Pfeiffer, RoboCop, and Daniel Marcos for plus 171. I think that's a great 3-leg parlay with guys who have UFC experience. And then we get into the newcomers. We got Carlos Prates, and then Daniel Marcos and Joe Pfeiffer. So Carlos Prates, the newcomer, making his debut, going up against Trevin Giles. I think he has a favorable matchup here. I mentioned all the experience that he has already for a guy who's only 30 years old and making his debut. But some of you guys don't believe in him. It's all right. He's going to be in this parlay. Marcos, I mentioned how he's going to get the job done, and Joe Pfeiffer for plus 173 in this parlay. Now, the next one is another up-and-comer making his debut, Bolaji Oki. Bolaji Oki taking on Timothy Kwamba now because Damir Hazovic had pulled out due to visa issues. Timothy Kwamba just fought last weekend. Timothy Kwamba is a featherweight, and this fight will be taking place at lightweight because he just fought last weekend. And, you know, very props to him. Props to him. You took the fight 7 days after just getting a second round finish, and I just think there's a lot of pressure there. You're definitely not going to be the healthier fighter, and Bolaji Oki has heavy hands. He can mix it up very well. Got a finish in Contender Series with a body shot that was, you know, timed, very precise. He has good striking. I think this fight should play out on the feet, and I'm going to rock with Bolaji Oki to get it done. So he's in this parlay. Dog of the week, Armin Petrosian, is in this parlay. I mentioned how he's going to get it done. The guy went to Dagestan for this camp, guys. I definitely am a believer. And then Dan 50K Ige is in this parlay for a plus 361. Dan Ige, I mentioned how he's going to get the job done this weekend by KO. I do think he has a great chance to get it done by KO. I mean, Andre Fili has, you know, taken this one on short notice, has been chinny lately before, and Dan Ige has 50K on his nickname for a reason, guys. So Dan Ige, Armin Petrosian, Bolaji Oki for a plus 361. So there's a newcomer in that parlay, a newcomer in another parlay, and then I got the UFC experienced parlay for you guys. 3 parlays. You guys can you know, do what you guys want with that. And I mentioned how all these guys are gonna win, so you can mix these props around, you know, make some straight bets. There you guys have, you know, these best bets for UFC Vegas 86, man. Like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think, and I'm out. Peace.